Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kyle Thomas here, and today I just wanted to give a little something on simulation theory again, but how numerology and astrology and all these different methodologies for understanding yourself and your purpose in life, or your purposeful expression in life, and how seeing reality as a hologram, as a school, a holographic school for better understanding of the one self, I guess you could say, the cosmic intelligence that manifests itself into all its multitude in which to interact with itself to better understand itself, right? Even us human beings can understand and realize that we really only understand ourselves and learn about ourselves through interaction with others. And it's the same with, the cosmic intelligence. We are just the cosmic intelligence made flesh. And we experience each other and learn from one another, and ideally work together through our experiences and understanding to build a better world. That's the main purpose of it all. It's just kind of become a little silly. It's part of the school, though, really. Right? It's all evolutionary catalysts. You have to experience one polarity or one contrast to appreciate the other. And so we've been in the contrast of competition and dog eat dog, and it's everyone out for themselves instead of working together for the betterment of the human condition. This is what we're moving towards too, but I'm getting off topic. So seeing reality as a hologram, that's simple enough if you just analyze your own sensory inputs, right? Your vision, when you look out and you see all these colors, those are all just wavelengths of light, right? It's one ocean of light that your eyes take in as wavelengths, as frequencies, and then your brain interprets or translates these frequencies into something perceivable, experiential, something of which you are inhabiting within. The same with sound, ripplings through the ether that your ears take in. Your eardrums vibrate to the frequency that they're receiving to come out, and the brain translates again a message, sound, and then applies meaning to it. That's a whole other aspect. The mind applying meaning to the things it's perceiving to again get a better understanding. It's hard for the mind to understand something without applying some sort of meaning to it. Same with touch, all sensory stimulus, electrical impulses received by the brain and then translated into an experiential reality. If you just take time and analyze yourself and just stare, right? Your eyes are like apertures to a camera. When you stare, the longer you leave your eyes open, the less you blink, the more light you're taking in. The more light you're taking in, the clearer the picture you're getting, right? The more detailed the image comes to be. And it's the same with your eyes. If you leave your eyes open and kind of relax them, you can kind of start seeing lights around plants, lights around people. It's this white, fuzzy fogginess around people. And then if you do practice even more, you start seeing colors. And then, other beings and little orbs of things floating around. But that's getting too much in the woo-woo, perhaps, for some of you. But it's there. It's all something. It's a muscle, right? We've gotten too attached to the physical muscles, and there are etheric muscles. I'm reminded of the movie The Man of Steel and Superman, and them talking about General Zod asking Clark, where did you hone your senses? On a farm? I was raised my whole life honing my senses. Basically, how can you beat me? But it comes down to honing the senses. Right? Superman has his abilities because he has conscious influence over his cellular structure in his body. His senses have become to such a point that he can manipulate the cells to regenerate, grow, withstand certain traumas. I personally see this as a possible human evolution. Again, I don't want to get too off topic. I'm trying to stay with hologram and numerology and astrology and how those are viable options and ways to see the programming of you, right? Because if it is a hologram, you are born to be of a certain expression and to live that expression out so that the great cosmic intelligence, the cosmos itself, can learn through experiencing itself through you and what your programming and upbringing has created. And then, doing your best to make yourself the best despite how you originated, how you came to be, and how your childhood was. But again, these are all getting into other topics. Butterflies. So, as we understand it as to be a hologram, and then we can look into, okay, how does a computer work? If it's a hologram, it's governed, there's something generating this translation. And that's getting into collective consciousness, the stories being passed on through our history and genetic lineages, which are just stories passed on as information within the cells and DNA of the living beings. And as you procreate and have new kids, your understanding and your parents' understanding are all passed on through genetics. And then there's the story of history that we kind of grow to accustom to, right? The Romans, the slavery, and all that. And so all these can change. It's all a story. We can change them instantly. Like, okay, that story didn't exist. Let's create another story. Erase the history and create something new. But then people frown upon the whole erasing of history, and that we're supposed to learn from the history, which is true. But anyways, rambling on again. So, a computer runs off of zeros and ones as we understand it now, of our basic technology, right? With VR becoming better understood and better utilized, we'll start seeing that we need more variables as quantum computing comes to being as well, because now it's not just zeros and ones, it's zeros and ones. It's both simultaneously in a multitude. But eventually we'll start seeing that, we need other digits. We need zeros, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, six, seven, eights, and nines. That we discovered mathematics. It wasn't an invention of man, it was a discovery. It's inherent in the structure of the cosmos, of our reality. Leaves have certain amount of petals, the Fibonacci sequence of how things grow within a spiraled nature. That mathematics and numbers are inherent into the hologram itself. They're a code, a structured code. And looking at your name and the date of birth, which are all date of birth is obviously numbers, but then your name can be turned into numbers, and you can start reading your code. Right? What you're here to become, start seeing how your past was purposeful to create the future you that's necessary. Given a certain amount of challenges to overcome, and from overcoming that you provide value to the collective as a whole, to the species as a whole, because we're all here to grow through experience together. And numerology and astrology and gene keys and all these methods for figuring oneself out are all just ways of hacking the programming system to see what your program is. Like, as we understand what we're here to do, which is basically just grow through our experiences, grow beyond our limitations that were set for us in our youth, from society, from our parents, from our religions, from our education, which are all limited in perspective, and thus limited when taught and looked at as a belief that, no, this is how it should be, this is how it's supposed to be, which are possibilities, but nothing's set in stone. Everything's malleable. Everything could be retranslated, reprogrammed. A new index can be created of which to retranslate reality. I guess in a way, since this is talking about the sensory system, right? Looking at your nervous system, it is just a network, a highway for electricity to travel down. Some pathways are open, some are closed, some are hardwired into your system, and thus elicit reactions, learned habits of ways of responding to situations. Like, I don't know why this happens, but every time it happens, it makes me angry. Or, this thing always makes me sad. Or it's because it's been programmed, hardwired into your nervous system to act this way when this thing happens. If-then statements, right? Again, computer programming. If this happens, then this response. We become hardwired. Our nervous system becomes hardwired to elicit the same responses over and over again. And we wonder why we keep making the same mistakes and doing the same things over and over again. Because we need conscious volition of which to change our neural pathways, restructure our nervous system to be more efficient, to have better responses, to come from a place of equanimity, neutrality, and approach situations as thus. Because then situations aren't manipulated by emotions. You use your emotions as signals for something, but you don't let your emotions control you. Realizing that you don't have to accept your emotions as reality. They're signals. You're angry, there's something there that makes you angry. It doesn't mean you have to lash out and rage towards that thing that makes you angry. See it, analyze it, figure out why, and then Is there something you can change about it? No. Well, if there's nothing you can change about your environment or about that situation, what you can change is how you choose to look at it, what meaning you choose to provide for it. Thus, restructuring your habitual responses to certain external stimuli, right? There's probably times when we were kids and I'm scared of swimming, and so you don't swim. But then you start swimming and you do it a couple times, guess what? You're no longer scared of swimming. You've rewired your nervous system to accept this as a reality and as a possibility, and through experience, your fear diminishes, your fear goes away, because now through familiarization, it's become normalcy, it's become a way of being. And we limit to these things to these small things like swimming or bicycle riding, being fearful at first, but once you get used to it, it becomes natural. Learning how to drive, there's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of fear and nervousness, but give it a few years and it becomes, you're not even aware of what you're doing when you're driving. It's just natural. It's structuring your nervous system, creating hard-wired autonomous ways of going about things, the minuscule tasks, the repetitive tasks. It makes it more efficient to automize it. And so our bodies are designed to automate processes that are that don't need a lot of thinking, and so that you free up brain capacity to do other things. And it's a beautiful structure of nature if you think about it. It's very intelligent. Your body's very intelligent. It stores memories and information and muscle memory and all these things. It's all coding, right? And you can recode yourself. You can reprogram yourself. You can restructure your nervous system, your hard wiring, and redo how you respond to things. And so numerology is a way to read that code you're born with, and to both see your shortfalls and where you might have hiccups and ways and things that you need to work on and strengthen, and strengths that you can realize in yourself, and thus hone in and focus on them and make them stronger. Make your weaknesses stronger and make your strengths stronger. It's just ways of reading the code. If I want to go into the nervous system still more, because it's like, the nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system more so, because that's more attuned to conscious thought and way of being. So if you're joyful and happy, your parasympathetic nervous system is influencing your body to be more energized. Your immune system is boosted when you're in a state of happiness. Your mind and mental thoughts do have an influence on how your body runs, how you choose to feel, because it is a choice. Depression is a choice. Depression is a overabundant focusing on the negatives in your life. And so we choose to consciously keep going over the negatives in our lives, and we wonder why we're depressed. Change your focus, change your perspective, change your life. And it's like your nervous system is an interface between your conscious self and your body. You can influence your nervous system. In states of meditation, you can harness or focus energy to certain points, create changes. Dr. Joe Dispenza, doing research of healings through conscious intention. Again, consciously conjuring energy to points of injury to expedite healing. The body is designed to regenerate itself. The only things that it lacks are nutrients, resources it needs. But basically, even those resources are just configurations of energy. Basically, we just lack the energy to heal efficiently. But that's because our brains, our thought patterns, absorb a lot of that mental energy, right? We're always lost in thought, thinking about things, analyzing things, judging, criticizing ourselves, others, our situations, society, government. We get hyper-focused on the thoughts, and we've kind of lost connection with our nervous system, which is to say lost connections with ourselves and our interface with our bodies and ourselves. And when you lose that connection and when you lose that interface, you become susceptible to diseases. It's just like you yourself are the firewall to your system. You are the one that keeps viruses at bay. Your mentality, your consciousness is what keeps viruses out of your system, your computer programming that is your body. If you're in the body, your firewall's up. You are consciously feeling the body, feeling the pulsations of energy of every cell. As you regrow this muscle that we've lost, you become strengthened, you become empowered. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. If anything, we've become too dependent and reliant upon authority figures to give us information, and so we don't question, right? They're authority. Why would we question them? They're the scientists. They're the experts. And so we listen to them without question. But do question. There's a lot of motives and alternative motives and agendas out there that may not be to the best interests of you and your neighbors and your friends and your family, not to the best interest of the people. So question. But bottom line is, your conscious interface with your body, the questioner, the choice maker and its heavy influence on the nervous system. The more you can become that, right? Because it's also about what you identify with. A lot of the times we identify with our mind. And part of you is that mind. Your mind is the individual creation is the creation of individual experience. So, you're born as an individual. You have your body, and your body has this mind, and the ego aspect is the mind's understanding based off of its own individual experiences, disconnecting itself from the collective as a whole, even though you're always connected to it. It's part of what the intuition is. But if you become too identified with the ego aspect, you get out of your body aspect, right? You're in your mind, you're in your thoughts, which takes a lot of energy, and your body decays. I guess as a good example, motherhood. When a woman is pregnant, they tend to have a little glow about them, right? Happiness. It's because they're in their body. They have another being in their body, and so now they're in their body more because they can feel that other being. They're connected to it, which brings them into their body, and so thus they have a glow, right? Because your consciousness is energy. It's a source of energy. It is the source of your energy that allows you to go about and do your things. We say, oh no, it's food. No. Have you ever fasted and been able to create energy and just do things still without food? Being tired, but then psyching yourself up, slap, and jumping up and down and oh wait, no, I can build up energy again. Your conscious influence into your nervous system can create energy. It is the creation of energy. And so it's okay, so again, numbers, the programming that's in your body, right? And then the programming of your conscious self that has the vast experience of multiple lifetimes, multiple experiences beyond this body. Both of these programmings converge to create a new mode of expression. And this mode of expression is your purpose. The blending of the two. The wisdom of the past used to enhance and reprogram your circumstances of the present to create something better for yourself and the world at large. And this is the power of human ingenuity, human innovation, human creation. We're very creative beings. That's what we're meant to do. That's why art is such a staple, right? You'd be like, oh, but art's been falling away. Well, movies are art. Video games are a form of art. There's lots of forms of art. It's public speaking. Teaching is an art. Painting your explanation to be receptive to the people is a form of art. Right? It's still painting, but painting with words. Writing is an art. A lot of us still read. It's all art. It's all modes of expression. That's the only thing of importance. It's the only purpose. It's expression. Expressing your truth, your authenticity, the who you are, the blending of these two programs put together to reach your optimal. And that optimal is your purposeful expression of self. Your contribution to the collective as a whole. So, I hope that helps. I may not have stayed on topic, that happens. But not for much longer. I will practice this, staying more on topic. But I like kind of just flowing too, but I know a lot of people get confused because I go all over the place sometimes. But yeah, that was fun. Hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Until next time.